lock-in letter. What is that? Hey taxpayers, today we're back with another installment of What is That? Where we discuss financial term and topics you may have heard, but we make them super easy to understand. Today we're talking about the lock-in letter. So before we get into what a lock-in letter is and why you would receive one, let's take a step back and talk about what you fill out when you first get hired with an employer. Initially, when you get hired with an employer, you fill out a form W-4. What you're doing there is you're telling your employer how to withhold on each and every paycheck that you receive. If you fill out this W-4 incorrectly, whether on purpose or by accident, this is where you could get into trouble and receive a lock-in letter. So maybe after a year or two of not having the correct withholding and owing an enormous amount of tax each year, the IRS is onto this and basically says, you know what, we're going to send you letter 2802C. This is a letter that basically states what you're doing. You're not withholding enough and you need to update your W-4 with your employer. They give you 60 days to make this correction with your employer. If you don't correct your withholding with your employer within those 60 days, the next step is the IRS sends lock-in letter 2800C to your employer and 2801C to you. This lock-in letter now forces your employer to withhold a much higher rate of taxes on each and every paycheck. Essentially, what the IRS is doing here is they're punishing you, right? They called you out and said you're not doing what you need to be doing correctly, right? You're not withholding enough. They gave you 60 days to correct the issue. You didn't correct the issue, and now they're not only forcing your employer to withhold enough, they're forcing them to withhold even more. So how do you break this spell? You need to have 3 consecutive years of this higher withholding. In other words, once your employer gets a lock-in letter, you're stuck for 3 years at that higher withholding amount. And it's not until after 3 years of consecutively having this higher withholding can you then ask the IRS for a release of the lock-in and submit a new W-4 that is correct to your employer. Have you ever struggled to fill out your form W-4 with your employer? Have you ever asked your CPA on how you should fill this out? Have you ever purposefully filled it out incorrectly so to have less withholding on each paycheck? Talk to us in the comments below. We love to hear from you and chat with you as well. Hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out new videos every single week. Follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook at Accounting to Scale. And until the next video, your favorite CPA here, Tiffany Gonzalez.